I heard you needed a long-winded video about me washing a car, so here we go. And if you're not already, subscribe to the channel for more content like what you're going to see today. Porsche GT3 997 generation 08 car was looking a little bit worse for wear, and the owner contacted me and said it needed a little bit of love but wanted it washed. But when I saw it, I knew this was going to make for a cool video. So as always, started with the wheels. Really nice design on these wheels with the cut lip, polished lip and the gloss black barrels and faces, and the car itself was sat on some coilovers slightly lowered, so it was a little bit tighter around the arch cap, so it made for a bit more fun. As always, start with your pressure washer and just give everything a thorough soak down. Once you've done that, you then can come back in with your chemicals. By rinsing it down first, it means that your chemicals are going to tackle what's deeper in the wheel, so to speak. Started up with some iron fallout remover, deep clean. I was going for on this car today, and I thought I haven't done it in a while, so we'll hit the wheels with that. In addition, the tyres and arches were hit with Stjarnagloss forced. Really strong cleaner, and I knew it was going to remove any grounding rubbish that was sort of tucked in the wheel wells and on the tyres. But like I say, it was ultimate finish, iron plus fallout remover, forced on the tyres and the arches, and then a bit of spray sealant on the wheels later. But you can see that they did light up, and it was worth going that extra bit for. On a weekly clean, you do not need to use a strong cleaner like this. Something like Ultimate Finishes, Safe Wheel Cleaner, or Finesse Imperial, something along those lines that can be diluted down. However, every now and again, you want to go in with a little bit heavier and do a deep clean. The faces were tackled with a lambswool wash mitt that's designed for wheels. The wheel nuts were tickled with a rather beaten up Swiss wax detail brush along with the calipers. Backs of the wheels were done with an easy detail brush, one of my favourites, along with the wheel willies. That was then used in the wheel arch as well. I couldn't get my normal brush into the wheel arch, so I used that and a good stiff brush on the tyres to give everything a thorough clean down. Once the chemical was rinsed away, Ultimate Finishes Ultimate Spray Sealant was dusted down onto the wheel and the caliper, and then heavily rinsed off to add gloss and protection to the wheels, making sure it's cleaner for longer and easier to clean next time round. Now, with the wheels out of the way, it was on to tackle that grimy bodywork. fair few weeks of driving had accumulated, and as you had seen in the before footage, there was loads and loads of dirt and mud and bugs splattered around the lower half of the car. So I treated the lower half to Stjarnagloss forced, knowing that I didn't have to worry about sort of the capabilities of whether it was going to strip or wax or sealant. As previously mentioned in the brand review video, and if you haven't seen that, I'll pop that up on the screen now, it sits at a balance of about 13, so it really does cut through some of that lower rubbish on your car before you come back and snow foam it. Instantly you could see the rubbish was starting to bleed out and seep. Again, top that with some snow foam, let that dwell, and it made for a really good solid pre-wash that meant that my contact wash later was going to be a lot safer. For the contact wash, 2 bucket wash method, couple wash pads, some matter shampoo and a bit through a snow foam gun was going to do the trick perfectly. To start off with and add a little bit more lubrication, although this soap is extremely well lubricated, I threw some through the snow foam gun, and then it was in my buckets as well. Like I say, this differs from the Stjarnagloss shampoo I used last time, so I thought it was a good way to show you two. This doesn't add gloss or water repellency like Bubble Ore does. This is just sort of your basic shampoo. Probably why I would say I prefer this one over Bubble Ore maybe. But like I say, really slick, really good cleaning capabilities. And a silly little thing is it dissolves really nicely with water. It's a very soluble shampoo, meaning that when you put 3 squirts in your bucket and you swirl it around with a mitt or a pressure wash or whatever it will be, you know that the shampoo is going to mix properly with the water, and you're not going to get lumps and clumps of shampoo at the bottom of the bucket like you do with some of the really thick shampoos. They look impressive when they come out of the bottle, but actually you want it halfway in between. You don't want it coming out of a bottle like water because you're questioning it, but you also want a little bit of thickness to it, but not too much that it's still soluble. Like I say, for me this hits the nail on the head. Started with the flat sections and then worked my way down the side. Great thing about using a wash pad is you can do a section, work down the panel, flip it over, do a section, work down the panel. Really easy. For me, much prefer using something like this to a wash mitt. And then what you'll also notice is that's the Incredipad XL, and then I have the standard Incredipad which I do all the lower and the grimier areas with. And every now and again these pads, they just go in the washing machine, get cleaned up with the microfiber cloths, and they last forever. Don't get me wrong, it's not as soft as a lamb's wool, but it's a bit of a trade-off. Once the car was fully shampooed down, thorough rinse down, and the car was now starting to get clean. It wasn't clean, but I knew it needed a little bit more because there was loads of dots and that all over the surface as I was washing it. So I knew I had to come back in and do a bit of a chemical decontamination. It wasn't bad enough that I knew it needed clay barring and I wasn't going to machine polish the car, so a chemical decontamination fit the bill perfectly. Exactly the same product, the Ultimate Finish Iron Plus Fallout Remover, was used on the bodywork, the same as what we used on the wheels, so you get more than one use out of this. Again, I've done videos on this, but you can see, because it's on white, it lit up. Loads and loads of contamination built up in loads of different areas on this car. So this was a good one for this product. It really shows off actually how much is hidden in your paint that you don't know about. And a top tip with this, if you have a really heavily contaminated car like this one, grab a microfiber applicator. Then, once the car's been covered in the chemical for sort of 5-10 minutes and it's not drying out, come back in with a microfiber applicator and agitate it. In a similar way that you would put polish on the surface, it's going to sort of release some of the in-ground contamination and reactivate the product. Little pro tip that not everyone speaks about. One thing to bear in mind though is these products, these iron fallout products, tend to be very gel-like, very viscous. So take your time and give the car a really thorough rinse down. Once that was done, some tar and glue removal was used on the lower halves of the car to remove any small tar spots or rubber deposits that might have been left. There wasn't a lot. Simply spray down the lower half of the car, or anywhere that you do notice deposits, give it a couple of minutes to dwell, wipe off with a microfiber. But another little top tip, don't stick that microfiber in your missus' washing machine, because when she smells that spirity substance that is tar and glue remover in her washing machine, you're not going to enjoy that. I'd always recommend giving that car a final rinse down as well, once that tar and glue remover has been used to remove any spirits left on the surface. Once you've done that, you're good to dry. For me, it was to the Big Boy Blower Pro. I'm sure you've already watched that previous video, but I mean, this thing's just nuts. Absolutely love it. And like I say, this is now a staple of equipment that I use day in and day out. Again, if you haven't seen it, there'll be a link on the screen right about now. If you want to buy something like this, there'll be a code pop on screen now. Joe10 for 10% off your first order with Ultimate Finish. It could be something like this, or it could be a bottle of that shampoo from Stjarnagloss I was talking about earlier. Doesn't have to be anything crazy. So we've now washed the car, we've chemically decontaminated it, so we've really stripped the paint back. Now we need to beautify it and protect it. This is the same polish that I used on the Carrera GT. Great results with minimum effort. Couple of lines applied to a microfiber applicator and work it in. I mean, it's a hand polish. There's not a lot I can teach you. But like I say, really easy to use and the results speak for themselves. Now, being a white car, I opted for a sealant as opposed to a wax. Sealants tend to work better on brighter, lighter colours, whilst waxes I love to use on those solids and darks. Parlour, a simple to use spray sealant that's water based, but reportedly can offer up to 5 months protection. The way I like to use it: couple of sprays onto a microfiber cloth that's folded into quarters. Slowly work it into the panel, allow it to really soak in. Then flip the cloth over and give it a vigorous buff off. What's great about this product is you'll notice that there was a number plate housed in there. There's a lowest front splitter that was in solid plastics. It doesn't matter. All of them got treated to parlour, and it really intensified the look of the paint and some of those solid trims. You might not want to use this on porous rubbers, but those hard plastics can definitely get a layer. Now onto the shop window of any car. Wheels, tyres and arches. You know that I love auto finesse dressel in the arches. Plastic arch liners front and rear on this car, properly built, no carpet here. Dressel, thoroughly sprayed throughout the arch, and then gummy used on the tyres. Nice tyre dressing, gives a nice consistent sheen. Doesn't look wet, it doesn't look silly, but it's not over prepped, but you can tell they're dressed. Really nice balance struck with this tyre dressing here. Now, barring the windows, the outside was pretty much done. The interior of this owner's cars never get too bad. This was probably about as bad as it gets. Crevice tool was used with my new Mac George Hoover for all of the floor and carpet areas, whilst I swapped out the crevice tool and used a brush with hog hair or horsehair, whatever it is, on the end of it to go around the dashboard, some of the Alcantara, the seats, just to pick up as much loose dust and grime as I could before coming back in with some Autoglym interior cleaner. All of the products that I've used in this video I'll throw links to down in the description, and like I say, if you feel like you want to try any out because of it, or you've got any questions in regards to it, drop a comment as well. The more interaction that you guys do with these videos is the more it gets reached to other people. If it gets reached to other people, the channel grows. And don't forget, 10,000 subscribers, I'm going to do a giveaway video with Ultimate Finish, and it's going to include a pressure washer and enough car cleaning goodies to be able to detail your own car. So there's a reason to give it a like and a comment, I think. Now, like I say, this interior cleaner was used on all surfaces, leather, plastics, Alcantara, very safe. But one thing that did get me was that old tax disc holder that was peeling off from Porsche Hatfield. Plastic razor blade, and it was a warm day, and it really did pop off nice and easy. Little bit of residue, but that got cleared up with some glue remover. Once that was done, some clear glass cleaner by Ultimate Finish was used. Glass cleaning is kind of that finishing touch. If you don't dress your tyres and clean your glass, your car's going to still look dirty. This glass cleaner, if you use a little, one cloth's enough, or if you need to do a really deep clean of your glass, saturate one cloth in cleaner, do your section, and then come back with a dry microfiber and buff off. Like I say, this glass wasn't too dirty, so I used a one cloth method, flipping it over regularly to ensure there was a wet and a dry side. Now, I don't know about you, but I really look like I'm contemplating the meaning of life there. Don't know what that was all about. But if you're interested in any of my detailing services, there'll be a link on the screen now to my website. You can go and check them out as well. And there you have it, one properly clean GT3 ready to go and smash some summer roads again. Nothing too fancy or dramatic here, just a good clean detailing video. Quite enjoyed this one, and I hope you have too. Like I say, if you have, share, like, comment, subscribe, do all of this stuff that gets interaction with the channel. Click below for the products, drop me a comment, drop me a message, follow me on Instagram. Thank you very much, people.